Welcome to Occult Archives.
where we uncover the mysteries, myths, and legends behind history's most feared books.
From mystical grimoires,
To ancient secrets too dangerous to be read.
I'm your host.
And I'm the expert.
And this is episode 113, the Book of Talismans. Ancient symbols, amulets, and zodiacal gems for protection, power, and spiritual harmony.
Get ready for a deep dive into a world where ancient symbols held the power to protect, empower, and even heal.
We'll be exploring the Book of Talismans, Amulets, and Zodiacal Gems.
A fascinating 1922 edition by William Thomas and Kate Pavitt.
This book draws on ancient and modern writings, personal experiences, even experiments.
It's a treasure trove of fascinating lore.
Our mission is to unlock the secrets of these ancient symbols
To understand their purported powers.
and explore the fascinating stories behind them.
We'll uncover the beliefs and practices surrounding talismans and amulets across different cultures and ages.
So let's begin.
Let's dive right in.
The book starts by emphasizing the significance ancient people placed on symbols.
The authors argue that these symbols express the faiths of bygone days and formed the basis of what they called occult forces.
Occult forces.
Yes, they believed that these forces were real and that scientists were increasingly recognizing their importance.
Now, whether or not you believe in occult forces, it's clear that symbols have always held a deep power over us.
Absolutely, they tap into something primal, something beyond our rational understanding.
The book goes on to say that talismans and amulets were far more than mere decorations.
They were thought to influence the lives of individuals and even entire nations.
They could bring joy,
Confidence,
warn of coming events,
inspire courage.
and even hold a marked influence on destinies.
They were active agents, not passive trinkets.
The authors cite ancient philosophers who attributed both spiritual and material powers to these objects.
They saw them as conduits for astral forces and vibration.
Astral forces.
It was a concept that suggested an energetic interconnectedness between the cosmos and the material world,
And these objects were believed to possess specific characteristics.
and even medicinal qualities.
It's amazing how much importance they placed on these seemingly simple objects.
It really speaks to a different way of seeing the world.
The book specifically mentions gems and how many of their attributed properties were linked to ancient authorities and planetary aspects.
So the choice of a particular gem wasn't just about its beauty or rarity.
It was about its perceived connection to the cosmic order.
The timing of its acquisition, the symbols engraved upon it, all of these factors played a role in harnessing its power.
So let's move on to some specific ancient symbols.
Starting with the Tau cross.
For many, the cross symbolizes Christianity.
But the authors argue that the Tau cross predates Christianity,
They believe it might be the prototype for all modern crosses.
and its origins may lie in the double axe hieroglyphic,
The devil axe.
which symbolized divine rule and power.
And interestingly, they point out that it's still recognized as an emblem of authority today.
Think of the auctioneer's gavel or the chairman's mallet.
That's a fascinating connection.
From an ancient symbol to a modern representation of control.
The Tau cross was also worn for protection.
Against inflammatory diseases and venomous bites.
Imagine a world where such ailments were rampant.
And people sought any means of defense.
It also appears in various religious contexts,
The book mentions Moses using it with the brazen serpent.
a symbol of healing and deliverance,
And it appears in religions across the globe.
often representing eternal life and regeneration.
A quote from John Dudley in 1846 really captures this sentiment. He wrote, "The Tau was a symbol of the Savior's death and promised spiritual life to mankind."
Powerful words.
The Tau cross even appears in the book of Ezekiel,
As a mark to identify those who would be spared from divine punishment.
a kind of spiritual exemption
And the Roman legions used it too.
to mark survivors on the roll call,
A thetis symbol signified those who had fallen,
a stark reminder of the battlefield's toll.
and its protective qualities persisted through the ages.
As recently as 1922, St. Anthony's Cross, a form of Tau cross, was still used as a charm against sickness in Ireland.
The belief in its power endured.
Across millennia and cultures,
Next, let's explore the symbol of Ayum, or Om,
the mystic emblem of the deity.
introduced to Europe through translations of the Gita.
But it was so sacred that it was forbidden to be pronounced aloud in its complete expression.
The power of the spoken word,
The book emphasizes its widespread use as a talisman throughout Asia.
dating back to the 13th century BC.
A truly ancient symbol,
Ayum represents the Hindu triad.
the creator, the preserver, and the destroyer or transformer.
3 aspects unified into one sound.
The book calls it the image of the Ancient of Days.
a primal and fundamental symbol,
The Buddhist invocation, Aum Mni Padme Hum,
which translates to Aum, the jewel in the lotus hymn.
holds immense significance in Buddhism.
It's believed to bring happiness, prosperity, knowledge, deliverance from enemies, and even liberation from the cycle of rebirths.
The transformative power of sound and intention,
Imagine silt flags adorned with the Aum mantra fluttering in the wind.
carrying blessings to those nearby.
And the prayer wheels meticulously turned in a sunwise direction.
Reversing the prayer could reverse the intended outcome
Such deep-seated beliefs.
and specific practices.
The book then takes us on a whirlwind tour of other symbols from various cultures.
From the conch shell to the fish,
Buddha's footprints to bells,
the tortoise to the tiger.
pigs to jade.
It's a fascinating glimpse into the diverse ways in which symbols were used.
Let's delve into some of these.
The conch shell was highly prized in Hindu mythology.
Associated with the deity Krishna.
It was believed to enhance oratory skills, promote learning, and attract wealth.
That last one likely stems from shells being used as currency in early societies.
The fish, a symbol of Vishnu's first incarnation.
Used as a talisman to increase riches.
The fish's natural association with fertility and abundance.
Buddha's footprints found in various forms.
From small ornaments to massive carvings.
The most famous being on Adam's peat.
Sacred to multiple religions.
Similar traditions exist in Egypt and Scythia.
The human need to connect with the divine.
Bells worn by Chinese children.
To ward off the evil eye and preserve their teeth.
A practical application of a musical instrument.
The tortoise.
A symbol of the universe.
Its domed shell representing the sky.
It's underside the earth.
An emblem of longevity and a repellent of black magic.
It's also connected to the feminine principle.
Associated with Aphrodite and Venus.
Such diverse meanings.
The tiger revered in China as the god of gamblers.
A tiger's tooth for luck and games.
Claws and whiskers as love charms.
Pigs considered lucky in China.
Gold or silk pig charms for fortune.
A stark contrast to the unlucky black cat.
Cultural beliefs can be so intriguing.
And then there's jade.
Highly valued in China for its symbolic qualities.
Benevolence, knowledge, righteousness, purity, courage.
It was used for divination and as a lucky charm,
The tradition of gifting a blue silken gown for longevity.
which would later serve as the recipient's burial shroud.
A poignant reminder of life's cycle.
In Japan, Buddhist talismans share similarities with those in India and China.
Reflecting the spread of Buddhism.
But Shinto Japan's indigenous religion also plays a crucial role.
Ancestor worship and the deification of nature.
The kami,
Leading to the veneration of various natural elements.
like Eagle Shrine, rakes parent potatoes and millet dumplings as luck bringers,
Even the dumpling takes on a deeper meaning.
as a charm against floods and a symbol of the sun.
And then we journey to ancient Egypt,
Home to a rich mythology,
centered around Isis Osiris and their adversary Typhon or Set.
a battle between light and darkness.
This mythology gave rise to a fascinating array of Egyptian talismans
The buckle of the girdle of Isis,
for goodwill and protection.
symbolizing Isis's blood strength and power.
The scarab beetle,
A symbol of resurrection and virility.
often engraved with good wishes or historical events,
The eye of Osiris, or Utchat.
with the right eye representing Ra Osiris and the sun,
And the left eye representing Isis and the moon.
symbolizing wholeness and strength.
The two fingers amulet,
A symbol of help and benediction,
like Horus assisting Osiris.
the ladder and the steps.
Representing Horus's ascent and Osiris reaching the afterlife.
The snake's head or serpent,
Generally protective despite the serpent's sometimes negative connotations.
a symbol of royal might and a guardian of tombs and temples.
The book also mentions the sun's disc frogfish vulture and the sack.
Though it doesn't elaborate on them.
Then we move into the realm of Gnostic talismans.
With their complex belief systems and magical symbols,
We see IAW, believed to be a sacred name for Jehovah,
surrounded by Khaubi, a serpent-like being.
representing vitality, understanding, and protection,
The 7 Greek vowels,
symbolizing the 7 heavens or planets.
believed to confer supreme power,
Cenebraxis,
the supreme being in some Gnostic traditions,
depicted as a composite creature with a cock's head, a human body, and serpent legs.
holding a whip and shield representing 5 divine emanations,
These Gnostic talismans offer a different perspective.
more intellectual and mystical.
Finally, we touch upon Etruscan, Greek, and Roman talismans,
The wolf's tooth,
used by Roman children during teething,
the cornucopia,
a symbol of abundance and prosperity.
tied to the myth of Jupiter and the goat,
The bulla,
initially worn by victorious generals,
later adopted by freeborn boys.
often containing grotesque objects to deflect the evil eye.
Adding a tusk or horn further enhanced its protective function.
And then there are the stable keys.
Found near old houses, but their purpose remains a mystery.
The frut,
Associated with Aphrodite or Venus.
worn for fertility and constant affections.
The key talisman,
A combined symbol of Janus and Jaina.
bringing prudence, remembrance, and foresight.
Also linked to Hecate Proserpine,
The caduceus,
Mercury's rod,
symbolizing reconciliation and eloquence.
with its pinecone wings and entwined serpents,
The health rings,
often featuring a coiled serpent.
an invocation to the god of health.
Rings with a boar's head.
For perpetual health.
3 ravens on a ring.
For conjugal fidelity.
And rings adorned with a human head, elephant trunk, or trident.
For protection at sea.
The Greeks even created charmed rings under favorable planetary alignments.
Sometimes featuring the owner's head engraved in green jasper.
The lizard,
A symbol of Mercury.
a charm against weak eyesight.
And a representation of the Logos.
It's also believed to attract good fortune in Portugal.
The spider.
Sacred to Mercury,
Worn for shrewdness and foresight.
beagle,
Typically associated with Jupiter.
a talisman for dignity and favor. And paintings of hands.
Used for good luck and protection against witchcraft.
Across cultures from Italy to India,
Zufar Tukia.
a Muslim crutch with letters forming a saint's name.
Imbued with spiritual power.
The Shah of Persia possessed numerous talismans.
But the book doesn't provide details.
Well, the Persian custom of charming scorpions through prayer and hand clapping.
A unique practice.
The Simsim formula,
An astrological talisman for good fortune.
containing the initial letters of planets and the sun,
And the pentacle.
a talisman against witchcraft.
It's amazing the diversity of these ancient symbols.
The ingenuity people displayed in trying to influence their lives.
It speaks to our deep-seated desire for control
For understanding the forces that shape us.
and for connecting with something greater.
The book then delves into zodiacal gems
With chapters dedicated to each astrological sign.
and the specific gemstones associated with them,
Let's start with Aries.
symbolized by the ram.
And ruled by Mars.
The primary gemstones for Aries are bloodstone and diamond,
The bloodstone was favored by the ancient Egyptians.
who often set it in thumb rings.
The Gnostics believed it promoted longevity and courage.
And engraving a scorpion on it was thought to protect against bladder stones,
The diamond.
known for its strength, beauty, and brilliance,
But often associated with misfortune.
like the pit or regent diamond and the hope diamond.
A reminder that even precious objects can carry a dark history.
Next is Taurus,
Symbolized by the bull.
and ruled by Venus.
The key gemstones for Taurus are sapphire and turquoise.
The sapphire.
Symbol of spiritual enlightenment, peace, and happiness.
King Solomon's sapphire seal is mentioned.
As is the sapphire in the Book of Exodus.
It was believed to preserve chastity, detect fraud, and protect against poison and plague.
The story of Richard de Preston gifting a sapphire for curing eye ailments.
Illustrates the depth of these beliefs,
Turquoise.
often used for amulets.
Believed to warn of poison.
By changing color,
A story about King John's turquoise turning pale supports this belief.
it's also a symbol of true affection.
They're thought to draw away negative energy.
But its power is strongest when received as a gift.
The account from Boetius to Boot about a gifted turquoise changing color and splitting.
Vividly illustrates this belief,
Moving on to Gemini.
symbolized by the twins.
And ruled by Mercury.
The primary gemstone for Gemini is agate.
Believed to bestow blessings,
Remove greed,
bring success,
foster friendships.
and protect against rheumatism and gout.
Chrysoprase is also mentioned but not detailed,
Then we have Cancer.
symbolized by the crab.
And ruled by the moon.
The gemstones for Cancer are emerald moonstone, pearl cat's eye, and crystal,
The emerald.
highly valued for its green color.
The crab itself was believed to possess similar healing properties.
The moonstone.
Believed to reconcile lovers.
And be beneficial for those with consumption,
It was also said to foretell the future.
and even contain an image of the moon.
Pliny attributed various virtues to it, revered for their beauty.
Associated with tears, purity, and innocence.
They were even used medicinally.
And divers wore them for protection,
Crystal.
used for crystal gazing.
Pliny noted its use in medicine.
But these Cancer gems are not considered harmonious for Aries or Libra,
Next, we have Leo,
symbolized by the lion.
and ruled by the sun.
The gemstones for Leo are sardonyx, chrysolite tourmaline, amber, and topaz,
Sardonyx.
believed to offer protection from infection and venomous bites,
Alleviate pain.
promote self-control,
Foster friendship.
bring success in legal matters.
And restrain excessive indulgence.
The golden stone.
Valued by the Romans for protection against enchantment and melancholy.
Setting it in gold was recommended to dispel night terrors.
Occurring in various colors.
Possibly the stone Pliny called lychnis,
Believed to dispel fears and melancholy.
and bring inspiration and favorable circumstances.
Amber.
Its ancient name, amuletum, hints at its purpose.
Protection against poison, witchcraft, deafness, digestive issues, and more.
Even used for pipe mouthpieces to prevent infection.
And topaz.
Particularly yellow topaz due to its association with the sun.
But not considered harmonious for Taurus or Scorpio.
Then there's Virgo,
Symbolized by the Virgin.
and ruled by Mercury.
The gemstones for Virgo are cornelian and jade,
Cornelian.
often engraved with symbols.
Believed to bring good fortune,
Instill courage.
enhance eloquence.
And staunch bleeding.
Napoleon is said to have possessed a cornelian seal talisman.
It was also thought to have clairvoyant properties, revered in China and New Zealand.
Even used as a racing talisman.
But not considered fortunate for Virgo or Pisces.
Next is Libra,
Symbolized by the scales.
and ruled by Venus.
The gemstones for Libra are opal and coral, known for its play of colors.
Considered unlucky if bought for oneself.
But beneficial when received as a gift.
Various types are mentioned.
Harlequin Mexican and fire opal,
Coral.
a gemstone formed by marine invertebrates.
Believed to protect against the evil eye.
And various ailments.
Orpheus recommended it for crops.
Dioscorides prescribed it against demonic delusions.
And Roman women wore it to ward off sterility.
It was also used in India, China, and Japan for protection.
Moving on to Scorpio,
Symbolized by the scorpion,
and ruled by Mars.
the primary gemstone for Scorpio is beryl.
Believed to protect travelers,
Bring happiness and lasting youth,
foster marital bliss.
and ward off enemies and lawsuits.
Different colors were associated with male and female wearers.
Next is Sagittarius,
Symbolized by the centaur.
and ruled by Jupiter,
The key gemstone for Sagittarius is topaz.
particularly yellow topaz.
Pliny recounts the story of its discovery.
And Emperor Hadrian is said to have possessed a topaz ring,
It was seen as a stone of strength.
but not considered fortunate for Pisces or Virgo.
Chrysolite is also mentioned as favorable for Sagittarius.
Then we have Capricorn,
Symbolized by the goat.
and ruled by Saturn.
The gemstones for Capricorn are ruby spinel, malachite, black onyx, and jet,
Ruby,
one of the most prized gemstones.
believed to guard against enemies
Reveal poison.
and attract friends and fortune.
Spinel was historically grouped with ruby.
Malachite was seen as a safeguard against colic and rheumatism,
Black onyx is mentioned, but not detailed.
and jet was believed to offer various protections.
But these Capricorn gems are not advised for Libra or Aries.
Next is Aquarius,
Symbolized by the water bearer.
and ruled by Saturn and Uranus.
The gemstones for Aquarius are garnet and zircon.
Garnet was valued as a token of virtue.
Zircon includes jacinth or hyacinth and jargoon.
Jacinth was believed to promote sleep and protect travelers.
Jargoon resembles diamond, but is more brittle.
Garnet and zircon are not advised for Taurus or Scorpio.
Finally, we have Pisces,
Symbolized by two fish swimming in opposite directions.
and ruled by Jupiter and Neptune,
The primary gemstone for Pisces is amethyst,
known for its calming influence.
and association with temperance and protection against drunkenness.
It was considered St. Valentine's stone.
And a talisman for lovers.
The Egyptians used it for talismans and promoting calmness.
The Magi used it against witchcraft.
It was considered beneficial for all astrological types.
What a journey through the zodiac.
The book concludes with advice on identifying genuine gemstones.
Valuable information in 1922.
The authors stress the importance of color brilliance and hardness.
And caution against unbelievably low prices.
They highlight the role of cutting and polishing.
And advise seeking guarantees of authenticity.
They suggest at-home tests like filing and examining stones in water.
And offer tips on distinguishing between similar stones.
A reminder that even amidst mystical beliefs, there's a practical side.
We've only scratched the surface of this fascinating book.
From the Tau Cross to the Zodiacal Gems,
These symbols held profound meaning.
they speak to our desire for protection, power, and connection.
Consider how these ancient beliefs might resonate today.
The charms we carry,
The significance we place on objects.
are references to astrology and gemstones.
What stands out to you from this deep dive?
What questions does it raise about our desire for protection, power, and connection?
Perhaps this exploration will inspire you to examine the objects that hold meaning in your own life.
And consider this final thought.
Even if we don't subscribe to these specific
The
beliefs,
persistence of these symbols throughout history,
speaks to our capacity for belief
our need for meaning,
and our drive to navigate uncertainty,
the legacy of talismans and zodiacal gems.
is a testament to the power of the human mind.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into occult archives.
Until next time, keep exploring the mysteries of the world around you.